Hi, this is Steve Leone at InterSolar North America 2012 in San Francisco. And I'm here with John Robbins from Arriva Solar. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Let's talk about certainly the past year has been a challenge for CSP in particular. It's fallen victim to some extent from low-cost panels that have moved some projects from CSP to PV, and it continues to be a challenge. Now, panel prices aren't really going anywhere in the short term, at least. How does CSP chart its path forward? What's the strategy?
Right. Well, I would say it depends on the region of the world. In the United States, we're pursuing projects where we're quite competitive with PV. And what I mean by that is projects like solar steam augmentation, which is where we build a small solar field next to an existing fossil plant, coal plant, natural gas-fired plant. And if that facility is in an area where the sun is good, there's relatively flat land nearby, we can take advantage of the existing infrastructure and come out with a solar project that is extremely low cost, actually lower cost than solar PV. And is a nice fit for utilities here in the U.S. that want to do solar, have renewable portfolio standards they have to comply with. And one example of that is in Arizona. We just did a project with Tucson Electric at one of their coal plants just south of Tucson. So that's something that we're looking to do more of here in the U.S. I think internationally, we're looking more to the countries that have specific solar thermal policies, countries like in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, India, Australia, where they've sort of acknowledged the advantage of solar thermal and carved out different policies for those.
Why are they looking to solar thermal as opposed to PV?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it has to do with their specific electric demand, when those demands occur during the day. For example, in Saudi Arabia, the peaks are more in the evening, so they're interested in having solar thermal with some amount of storage. India, on the other hand, is interested in solar thermal for other reasons, because it creates lots of local jobs, more so than PV does. Also because the power output is more stable. So in terms of the grid and its reliability, solar thermal has an advantage. So I think it just depends on the country, the grid situation, and what they value the most.
So, certainly storage is perhaps one of the more attractive attributes that CSP has for the potential of going forward. How critical is having storage for the future of CSP?
Well, I think it's important in particular regions, like I mentioned in Saudi Arabia, where they've decided it is important for them. Other countries, we haven't seen it as a requirement in India, not yet anyway. In the U.S., I think the question is still out there. Some utilities have said they're approaching the point where they may have enough or too much PV on their system already, and that putting more might cause some instability, in which case if they want to do more solar thermal would be a better choice. But we're not there yet, but I see that potentially coming in the U.S. So I think it just depends on where in the world we're talking about.
Okay, and just one last question. In terms of short term, where are the markets right now? You mentioned some that are perhaps out there and they're looking towards CSP. What are the next big markets for CSP?
I think probably the biggest emerging one is Saudi Arabia. They've recently announced their plans to install a large amount of CSP. So that's something that we're looking at and plan to participate in. India continues to be a very strong market for us. We are building our largest project there. It's a 250 megawatt project being built in two phases. The first phase of 125 megawatts is currently under construction and will start coming online next year. And we see booster opportunities there as well. So I think India will be a good market. Australia, we're building a project there, a 44 megawatt booster. So I think it has more potential as well. And South America also, some countries there talking about some solar projects.
Well, great. Thanks for your time and thanks for stopping by, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.